Hi guys, and welcome back to another episode of Building a Nation with Polonia Warszawa. It's the Champions League final against Manchester City. It's, I believe, the fourth Champions League final we've been in this save. We've won 2, lost 1. I've suited up for this one because the one we didn't win is the one I didn't suit up for, so I'm not taking that risk. It's going to be a tough old game for us. We've had a tough old tie against Manchester City a couple of seasons ago, which we did come through though. Hopefully we can use that to our advantage again and just try and make the best of this. I really want to win this one so we can kind of go out on a high. Anyway, we've had some games off camera. Talk about that first and come back for the big one. First up, a 1-0 victory over Lech Poznan. Carroll getting us the late winner, enough to get us the win anyway. Then we stepped things up a notch though with a 5-0 trashing away at Corona. 2 for Blaise Lisic, 1 for Chabal, 1 for Orozco, 1 for Gibran Almeida. Lisic also got an assist on this one. He is now up to 59 goal contributions for the season. Like, he's had a few seasons where he's got into the 30s in terms of his goal contributions, sort of like 33. By goal contributions, I mean combined goals and assists. He's had a few sort of 34s, 35s, 36s. Now, last year he jumped to 45. This year he's on to 59. So he is just getting better and better. And lastly, a 2-0 victory over Katowice. 2 goals for Vicente within 2 minutes. Gave us the victory. Katowice still managed to get third, though. They finished off the season in startlingly good form. At one point, they were looking like they might catch up to Lech. It wasn't quite available, but they did get into the Champions League. Now, what I don't get is why there are 7 teams listed as the European places next season. I don't know why that is, because we don't have 7 places in Europe, and Legia were the ones that won the cup. So I don't know what that. I think that might just be a visual glitch, because I'm pretty certain we're not going to have 7 teams in Europe next season. Let's put it that way. But still, good work for them. 16 points was the gap between 6th and 7th in the end. I predicted 14. It was actually even more than that. Lisic, top goal scorer in the league with 23. Top assister in the league, or certainly joint top, with 14 goals. Best average rating of an 8.3. He didn't get the most man of the match awards, though, as Clever Selmani set a new record of 9. Iglesias as well picked up 29 clean sheets in a season. Crazy. We scored 131 league goals for a goal difference of plus 121. Mental. What a season it's been for us, that is fair to say. Our record points tally in the league, we really have been a cut above this season. In the end, ended up finishing 26 points clear of Lech Poznan. But it's still, they've definitely shown a lot more quality this year. To have 3 teams get 70 points or more as well is really big progress. Would you consider a journeyman save? I would, but only if I can get a better computer, because unfortunately, when I tried to do an Outcast to Icons thing for a stream, I set everything up and the database was just so slow, it just wasn't worth doing. And so it would be the same if I did it in terms of videos on YouTube. I'd love to do Outcast to Icons 2 Electric Boogaloo, but that would require me to get better hardware, basically. It's as simple as that. How about a Blackpool save? Having got rid of the toxic ownership, the feel-good factor is back, and they already have a history of great players in the past. I would have done, in fact, I think I've mentioned this before. Blackpool was actually supposed to be my rebuilding save for FM, would have been 17, I think. The forgotten season where I disappeared. That was actually my plan for that season, was to do a Blackpool save. But now that they're kind of on the way back up again, it doesn't really fit the same bill for me. An idea for a new series after this one ends, it will be Huesca, is to perhaps do a Scottish side in the lowest league and put the same restrictions that Athletic Bilbao have, where they need to have Basque nationality to take over the Scottish national team as soon as possible. I don't normally like those types of saves, but this one actually I might be kind of interested in doing, to be honest. I don't like Athletic Bilbao, not interested in that kind of thing, but maybe if I did someone like Edinburgh City, because I would want to pick an Edinburgh team, because that's most of my family are from Edinburgh, and did something like that, it could be quite a fun one, because it would have building a nation elements of it, but not being the ultimate goal, and I would be focusing more on the Scottish stuff. So that would be quite an interesting one. Also, since it is sort of the start of the week, the way I've had to record this, it's time to thank new patrons. And can I just say, I don't know why, but over the last week or so, we've had a huge influx of new patrons. I'm certainly not knocking it. I'm incredibly grateful. It's just interesting because of the sort of been steady decline since I started Polonia. As I understand, it's not everybody's cup of tea, this type of save, but it is really interesting to see the sort of the influx towards the end here. So seriously, thank you guys. So firstly, new patrons: Cameron Hill, Harry Forsyth, Bert Bertsenson, and Ron Polonia, mate. All of you. Just huge thanks to all of you. Also, Ron, you're going to need to give me a player that you want to sponsor as well. So let me know. Obviously, you can have one for this save, although that'll be more for stream stuff. But do let me know about Huesca as well once we start that one up. And also, Peter Fischer upped his pledge as well. So just seriously, massive thank you to all of you guys. That is incredibly awesome of all of you. And all of you that have been over there since I came back to YouTube. It's just... I very much appreciate it. I really do. It allows me to just spend a little bit more time making the videos than I would have been able to otherwise. As for overall plans for what I want to do, kind of pushing into FM20, I'm thinking the beta, I might do either an Australian national team save just to mess around with stuff, or maybe an Australian or an A-League save just for the beta to sort of test things out a little bit with a slightly more confined league, because I just want to experiment with something a little bit different. Definitely looking at the rebuilding idea. I've just found out, you're going to love this, Notts County, who are a very big contender for that potential role, have just signed Regan Booty. And I'm being swayed towards Notts County potentially for rebuilding FM20 just for the pure fact that Regan Booty would be able to play for us, and that would be amazing. So there's that. Going forward after that, maybe Outcast Icons, maybe the Scottish save, maybe something totally new. I've got all kinds of ideas floating around. If Huesca goes well, I'd be loving the idea of potentially doing another sort of slow moving save depending on how things go with that. I want to do some more sort of, not tutorials because I hate that word because it implies I know what I'm talking about. I want to try out some stuff like that as well perhaps. But anyway, let's get into Manchester City. Marco Marin is actually the manager of Manchester City. We can't let this slip under the radar. So, his career, I remember him being at Chelsea. He went to Sevilla, he went to Fiorentina, Anderlecht, Trabzonspor, Olympiacos, Crvena Zvezda, my boys. Maccabi Tel Aviv is where he actually finished his career. Then he was the Schalke under-19s manager and took over the Groningen job. Look at 58% win ratio as well. That's mental. He's been a bloody good manager. Hoffenheim as well. Sevilla. He's picked some big jobs. Schalke. I think he must have won the Champions League with them. And then Manchester City. Okay, so slight downside. Firstly, we're just going to set the team and I'll explain what the issue is at the moment. So for Posse, I'm going to put him back in the team here, but you'll understand the problem we have. He picked up a training injury, as he seems to before every Champions League final. I swear to God, he has missed. He's been injury-free for most of all seasons and then just gets an injury the week before in training. So I've given him the injection this time, which is why he's got this. What was the actual injury? It was a twisted ankle. So he's going to be out for 6 to 7 weeks. I thought we have one game left in the season. Let's give him an injection so he can actually go through. I've never, ever, I don't think, actually used this function before. So we're trying it out today to see if it can get him through the Champions League final. But we're going to have Broniszewski on the bench anyway to make sure. So Pereira, Lisic, no, wow, this is messed up. Right, that is the lineup I want. Pereira, Lisic, Vicente for Posse, Gorosito, Montañez, Albarracin, Fleitas, Almeida, Shabal or Maka. Shabal has played that little bit better over the course of the season, and Maka's returning from an injury. I think he's going to have to play. So the bench is going to be Mgotsi, the Lama, Orozco, George, Bustos, Carroll, Firmino, Maka, Francisco, Broniszewski, Veras, and Marlon. Very strong bench, very strong lineup. Can we make it 3 Champions Leagues? I think we kind of need to have a good result today just because of the coefficient, which we're still having a poor year on that. And because I want to hang on to our players, and I feel like this is the best way to do that, is just to keep winning stuff, and hopefully they'll want to stay. Because we have started to wane on that a little bit. City playing a 4-4-2 also perturbs me a little bit, because I wouldn't know where to go if we started to find things going wrong. I don't know. Like, it's hard to know what to pick here, because the players never seem to respond that well to these. We'll just have to play this by ear. So it's been a while since we've played against a system that wasn't a 4-2-3-1. So City's 4-4-2 could cause us some problems today, but it might also provide us with some opportunities. We'll have to see. For Posse, I'm concerned about because of his injury, but we do have Broniszewski if need be, but that would be quite a step down. An okay start to the match so far. Freitas has done well, lumped it long. Montañez has done well. Montañez has actually really stepped up this season for me. It's going to be interesting for Posse. Takes it short, but Shabal will get there. Ball across, and there's Blaise Elisic at the back post. 11 minutes into a Champions League final, and he has scored the goal. Wait, is that offside? No, it's not, is it? What a moment that. What a ball from Petr Shabal. Incredible. 37 goals. What about this for a ball from Shabal, though? This is a world beater. Look at that. That might be the best cross I've ever seen on an FM game. And Blaise Elisic follows that in and scores an early goal. We're leading in the Champions League final. Chappelle's immediately got injured. Not the best start, but now Maka's going to come in. What a moment. We already have the lead in the Champions League final. Blaise Elisic, of course, has scored the goal. Imagine if he scored the winner. That would be the perfect way to cap off probably the best season of his entire career. For Posse, Pereira can knock it around the side for Vicente! And what a save. Nothing has happened. There's been no highlights since about the 20th minute or something. Oh no, Lisic's made an error. This could be the moment that really mucks us up. Goni! What a save. It's a tight one at the moment. City look dangerous, as we know. Oh no, he's in again. And Goni equalises for Manchester City. They've been warned once. He's 34 for the year, and Goni with the equaliser here. This is the problem. They get the ball into these wide areas, and they're able to drift inside. But I don't know how we've allowed such bad defending. I think that was from Almeida, to just allow him to run in behind him there. That's just so poor. All he has to do is cut that out. Well, that's completely made me tear up my half-time notes there. We were going in at half-time at 1-0, and now it's not. They're not playing the ball at the back at all, really. I don't want to press them too hard. They're cutting inside. We might be able to move our passing around a bit. I'm going to type mark Foulon as well. And also actually go after Nicholas too, because the problem is that they're cutting inside and it's providing gaps. Like, we played well enough in that first half, but we did concede a couple of good chances, and unfortunately they were able to put the second of those away. Are you joking? Oh, there's not going to be such a good, big gap in the wide areas today for us to break through, because they've got slightly deeper... Oh, no. What a save. Because their wingers are slightly deeper. Gorosito is given a bit more room, but he's got a lot less options in the wide... Look, see, that's what I mean. He can't find for Fossey the way that he would like to, because they've got a slightly deeper winger. Fossey can't get in behind. But we can still figure out ways around that, but we've got to come up with something soon. Or not, because they've just scored probably the winner of this match, unless we can figure something out and fast. It is just not happening for us. Unfortunately, our standard attacking outlets are completely nullified today, and we can't just play down the wings. Uhaldagaray, bane of my existence, that guy. We can't get the ball out to the wide areas because there's just... They've got too many players in those positions, which means we kind of need to go through the centre. I think we have to push through the centre and rely on some overlaps, because we can't get in between the lines here, and it means we're going to have to make a load of substitutions, but I just don't see a better way here. Oh, risky, I appreciate, but it's something that might just have to try this. We're not going to win this match by continuing to play the way that we are, and we need to make drastic changes. There's too much. There's not enough space in the wide areas, because you notice that here... Earlier, they would have been about here. You could get into these gaps, but we're just not allowing that. Whereas what we'll do now, if we have those extra players, that will draw more players into the middle to allow our fullbacks to have some space for crosses and for allow us to overload the central areas of the pitch. It's a huge risk, I grant you, but at this point, we're already a goal down in this match, and I don't see us coming back into it with the way that we're playing, and Goni's about to make it 3, isn't he? No, he isn't. He isn't, actually. Okay, just because we're predominantly going through the middle doesn't mean that every chance will go that way, but unfortunately, we're just losing the ball too easily now, and... Cleared away. Oh, God, it's come back to Ariano. And it's saved. Oh, my God. The luck of that. Coming back off the crossbar, straight to their player in the end. I'm trying to think of a time that's ever happened for us. Goni's ball in. We've just not been at it tonight. Ariano's shot. Bends in. And then just comes straight back to Uhalgadai. Now it's 3-1. It's frustrating. But we just weren't going to get anything out of this game by continuing to play the way we were. You could see the way that things were going, and it just wasn't happening for us. Well, there you go. About as subdued as you can get, really. Just a really piss-poor performance in general. City play a system that... I still think maybe there was other routes, and I don't think what I did worked at all, as we know. But I don't think we're doing what we were going to do before was going to have any effect on this game either. You don't learn anything unless you take risks. It was a poor performance in general. The game changed the moment City got the goal from Goni. That completely ruined it. Not even ruined it. You could feel the change shift then, and the changes I made didn't work. They got lucky with the third goal a little bit, but whatever. They had other chances and they could have had other goals. It just wasn't our day, and we just weren't very good. Well, yeah, wanted to go out on a high, but it was not to be. It's just how it is with FM and how it is with football in general. 28 points on the board this year. The best... Well, it's better than last year, and it's right up there with a lot of the others. But unfortunately, the rest of the clubs let us down, and we only got an 8.6 overall, our worst, in fact. So we've actually lost ground on the teams above us, and as you can see, we lost massively. Look at this. We were never going to be able to catch these guys. There's such a hegemony of these top 5 clubs. I don't see any way that you could break into this at the moment. So, second tier in Poland. This is how things look. We'll get rid of all this. Górnik coming up. Widzew are promoted as well, and there's a few other teams messing around in the playoffs. Usual suspects going down and up, it would seem. In the third tier, the League of Mess, going up here are 6th and 7th. And in the playoffs, of course, it is a ridiculous mess. There's grief, our boys. In the Premier League, City won the league by 2 points over Arsenal in the end, and miles clear of anybody else. You could sort of see why City were so hard to play against. Goni, best player in the division, 24 league goals as well to add to that. Ooh, Bournemouth had a guy get 17 goals and they came 15th. Arsenal, Chelsea and Spurs in the Champions League. Liverpool in there too. Manchester United in there as well. No real huge surprises I'd note here. Brighton getting into the Europa League. I assume they must have won the FA Cup or the League Cup, I guess. Leicester, Leeds and Norwich. Norwich go down hard. Liga Santander, Barcelona win it very comfortably and with a plus 80 goal difference. I mean, that is some big results. Real Madrid back up into the Champions League places. Sociedad and Atletico in there as well. Villarreal, Sevilla and Valencia into the Europa League. Down go Lugo, Girona and of course Leganes having a really bad season. France, yeah, Paris Saint-Germain win it again over Monaco, who do so well every year, and they're just never quite good enough to win it. Lyon coming third with Marseille, then Nice, Saint-Etienne, and of course Montpellier, who are managed by Stanisol, I can remember, so he's done all right for them. Down go Troyes, Le Havre, and of course Nantes. Pretty poor season for them, but Paris FC stay up, as is sort of becoming the way in the Bundesliga. Dusseldorf survive by the playoffs, as far as I can tell. Heidenheim and Nuremberg go down. In first place is Bayern, and Ragab was the top scorer in the league, the guy we nearly signed. So yeah, we nearly got a good player there. Leipzig, Dortmund, Schalke, Stuttgart and Frankfurt in there with Hertha, who actually won the Europa League. So yeah, fair play to them. Genuine big news in Serie A is that Inter, the normal champions who've won the last 4 in a row and big scores, have come third. And Lazio have won Serie A. That's a huge result. That's genuinely massive for them to win it by a point over Milan. Atalanta coming 5th and Juventus down in 6th there, with Fiorentina in 7th. Down go Empoli, Torino and Cagliari. No real surprises other than that. Normal service somewhat resumed in the Netherlands. Ajax win. RZ comes second there with Feyenoord and PSV in there. Utrecht are playing in a Europa League playoff, and then down go Twente. Playoffs have still got, wow, 20 going down. NEC in there too. Venlo going in. Well, they're in trouble as well. As you can see, though, I just thought we'd spend just a brief minute sat on this screen so you can see. Now the 10th best manager of all time. 13 domestic titles, 18 domestic cups, 3 other trophies, 3,143 points. I think, like, conceivably, it's very simple for us to probably get into the top 6 with just a couple more domestic titles and whatnot. It's breaking those, getting past Conceição, Klopp, Simeone. Those are the big ones. Guardiola's overtaken Ferguson by a comfortable margin as well. So, yeah, and that really is the issue, trying to catch up those. I mean, I think we could still do it on stream potentially, but it would require a lot more work. Here endeth in its current form Building a Nation with Polonia Warszawa. 17 seasons. I think it's the longest I've ever done in a YouTube save. Maybe Outcast to Icons was longer, but that was with loads of, like, simming because we didn't have a job. So this, for me, is the longest I've ever done, anyway, of actually consistently managing a club. So that's kind of cool. And we're not done yet. There will be streams. They won't start straight away because I'm obviously going to work on stuff for Huesca. I'm also going to be going away for a week in a few weeks, so I won't be able to stream that week either. There will still be videos as far as I can tell because I should be able to backload a few. But if not, I will let you know. Don't worry about that. Yeah, so Huesca will probably usually starts on a Sunday. So to give you an idea, it'll give you a little while to sort things out and get everything started with that. The analysis video won't be later today. It will be tomorrow in the normal time slot. Just that way we can just fill a normal time slot. We don't have to, it doesn't really make any difference, but I feel like it makes more sense to have it the next day this time. So yeah, I hope you've enjoyed this series up to this point. I really hope you have. Drop a like on the video. I know the Champions League final was not as we intended. I tried something out, it didn't work. You live and you learn. That's the kind of stuff we're going to do in Huesca, but with way more research, so we would have known that that wouldn't going to work. So yeah, drop a like on the video, that'd be awesome. And if you're new to the channel and this is the first video of mine you've watched, then you might want to go back and watch the other 136 episodes of this save, as well as the analysis. I don't know. So yeah, do that. That'd be awesome. And I will see you guys soon. Thank you so much for watching. Bye-bye.